I was under the impression that he had the gun, and that's why I found probable cause. Not that someone else had the gun and he's just standing there. He's like standing while black. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
That's right.
Yes, Judge. On September 30th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a weapons disturbance call in Harris County, Texas. The caller advised that he observed a group of juveniles with a handgun after walking into a Texaco gas station. The caller asked the defendant if he had a gun, to which the defendant stated yes, and that he had it for protection. The officer observed the group walking away from the gas station and activated his lights and sirens. The defendant began to evade upon seeing the officer. The officer had prior interactions with the defendant and knew him by sight and name. The officer later was able to locate the defendant at his residence.
So you said that he goes into a gas at Texaco.
So, Your Honor, the complainant was walking into Texaco and observed the defendant with another group of juveniles outside the gas station with a handgun. And then
Okay, so who has a handgun?
the handgun is with the defendant. And the defendant...
He has a handgun?
Yes, the defendant said he had that for his protection.
Read it again.
Yes, Your Honor.
I must be confused. Read, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The officer was dispatched to a weapons disturbance call in Harris County, Texas. The caller advised that he observed a group of juveniles with a handgun after the complainant walked into a Texaco gas station.
This is an unknown caller.
Yes, it is the caller.
Hey, I saw a gun here.
I saw a gun with a group of juveniles. And the caller asked the defendant if the defendant had a gun, to which the defendant stated yes, that he had it for protection. And then the officer observed the group of juveniles walking away from the gas station and activated his lights and sirens. And the defendant...
All right, guys, this one really hits hard. It starts with the judge asking why a black man is on trial just for being there. Standing while black wasn't just a saying. It was actually being used as a reason. The court tells him his rights, but the real problem might be how people see things. Police got a call about some teenagers with a weapon. One of them said he had it for protection. But here's the twist. They all ran away.
No weapons. And now you've picked up another case.
So,
Stop. Don't sing. Mr. Joyal, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. What time of day or night was this?
All right, let me check the office for it. It appears to be at, I apologize, I don't know military time, but 13:26 hours.
It's 1 in the afternoon.
1 in the afternoon, Your Honor.
So he's got the 3 felony cases upstairs. They're all no weapons as well. You need to understand that by picking up this case, it's very possible that they revoke your felony bonds and raise them. And if that happens, 3 felony warrants are going to issue for you. So you need to get with your lawyer extremely quick. No, don't. But I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of weapons. And I'm also ordering you not to use or consume any alcohol or dope. And I'm going to drug test you today because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. You're to come right back and then we'll talk about your lawyer situation. Do you understand?
yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
I was appointed on this case today. Okay.
The officer says he saw the man before and knew who he was. The judge points out that the man has 3 past convictions. His bail condition said he couldn't have any weapons, but now there's a new charge. Things get more serious. Everyone in the courtroom watches as the judge goes over what the caller said. Who had the weapon? She asks again because now it's not just about whether he's guilty. It's about making sure the facts make sense.
And then he comes to do a further investigation. I get that in and of itself is nothing, but then they go to do a further investigation, right?
If I can make another argument, Judge, the person states that he talked to the person that has the gun, specifically talked to the one person that has the gun, and he stated, I have the gun for what?
For
My
protection. Yes, for protection.
That's him.
No.
You told me it's him.
The initial caller stated he asked the defendant if he had a gun, and then that's when the defendant stated yes, and he had it for protection. And the DMZ says the defendant.
It's not much. There's 2 defendants. There's 2 people arrested. One that actually had the gun. My client doesn't have the gun. He was arrested for evading. There's no gun found on him. The other gentleman was arrested for possession, I believe. A Mr. Kenneth If you look at the OR, it's in there. There's somebody else was arrested. He wasn't found with the gun. It's not my client.
Well, it says that the defendant was identified by the caller from prior booking photographs. The caller is the one who said that the defendant had the gun.
Yes, Your Honor. It was the caller that identified the defendant and the one that spoke to the defendant who had the firearm. And they were shown booking photos, and they identified the defendant, Mr. Joyelle.
Judge, I asked that they look at the OR and see who actually got arrested for possessing the gun.
Judge, I think it was the co-defendant that had the gun. He's the one that was charged.
Now comes the big moment. The defense lawyer steps in confidently and questions the case. She says he didn't have the weapon. It turns out someone else was arrested for having it. But her client ran and was caught, too. She argues, you can't arrest someone just for running, unless there's a good reason. Suddenly, the mood in the courtroom changes. The judge starts rethinking her earlier decision.
That's the state's argument in opposition for probable cause.
What was he doing wrong?
Somebody had a gun. That gives him.
Get it? So that's why that person got arrested. But
That didn't just happen in that order. It's not. They stopped. They detained people.
I was under the impression that he had the gun, and that's why I found probable cause. Not that someone else had the gun and he's just standing there. He's like standing while black. You know, he's like,
we talked to the person that had the gun. Identify
if you can show me something that he's doing something wrong, then okay. But I was under the impression that he did that and then he takes off, hence the evading. If you take your time, there's no rush, right? But if he's doing something wrong, then they're going to investigate him for doing something wrong, and he takes off. That's a different question. But if he's doing nothing wrong and just standing there, no.
And this guy that they talked to admits.
I get it. Let me see if they have anything else. If not, then I'm gonna cut him loose.
Okay, Judge. Have a seat, please.
Okay.
Judge, so I'm going off of the OR. There's a couple of descriptions that are in here.
Someone says the person with the weapon wore a black shirt and two-tone jeans, but no one knows who actually said that. The defense asks, when the officer got there, did he know who had the weapon? No one answers. The judge asks for clear answers. Witnesses aren't sure. The timeline doesn't add up. If you can't clearly say who did it, can you really charge them? Even the system starts to doubt.
Second witness.
And Ricardo, I can clarify that. Judge, we called the officer beforehand. They indicated that they did not know when they came up who was there, like who exactly had the gun. We listened to the 911 call. The 911 caller just indicates there's a group of juveniles. There's three black males, 2 Hispanic, 1 white, and one of them indicated to me that he had a gun, one of the black males. But at that time, they didn't have a description, a decisive description to indicate it was one of those males.
In this case, if he was Hispanic,
yes,
there'd be no probable cause. If he was white, there'd be no probable cause, right? Because we know that when the officer goes to investigate, it could not have been that person. But when he's going to do his investigation, he knows one of the black males has a gun, but he doesn't know who. So he has to do the investigation. But for him being able to do it, they all take off.
If I may, Judge. So my argument is just based off of the OR. My understanding is that they're going outside of the OR. They could supplement this case if they want to. They could refile it.
I really want to know all I want to know is what the officer knew about who had the gun when he went up there. Did he know anything about which defendant had it?
It's not in the OR, Judge.
Here's the problem.
Understood. Okay.
If you find something different later on, then reapproach and show me, and then I'm happy to redo probable cause. If you can show me that there's something different, I'm always happy to re-entertain it and do it again. But
the only thing I can show you is what's in the OR, where it says the description of the black male wearing a black shirt and two-tone colored jeans.
And to be clear, Judge, we will be contacting the officer again today and having them file a supplement to correct.
you're telling me that when the officer rolled up to all those people out there, he knew the person had the gun?
Now the case gets more serious. It turns out the first witness, a store clerk, didn't give any description. The second witness did, but only after the teens were already gone. When the police showed up, no one really knew who had the weapon. That's not real evidence. That's just guessing. The judge starts looking more closely at all the mistakes. And for the first time, you can feel it. This isn't just about the law anymore. It's about what's truly fair.
Then we know it's no probable cause.
All I'm stating is what's in the OR. I don't have the answers that you're asking for. He's getting the answers based on a phone call that I don't have access to. I don't have.
Yeah, well, I'm not considering that. I don't care about that.
So then
I don't care what he's telling me. All I care about at this point is what the officer knew when he goes up to do his initial investigation.
Okay, and just to be absolutely clear, page 7 indicates specifically who told the officer that description, and it's the second witness, not the first witness that they had information about when they rolled up. The second witness that identified him dumping the gun.
Who is the second?
It's just somebody that identified him as there's a juvenile male just dumping a gun.
Is this just a random person that's in the?
I believe so.
In the Texaco?
It's just a third party witness.
So the first witness is the gas station attendant. The second witness is just a citizen, somehow sees the gun and alerts authorities, hey man, I see someone with a gun.
It's alarming.
And he didn't give a description?
They did. This person did give a description. They said black male with a black shirt and two-tone jeans.
So he does say that to the officer?
No, Judge. That was after the people had already run. The only thing the officers knew was what they had in the first 911 call, was that a black male identified said that he did it, but there was 3 of them, and 2 Hispanics and a white male, and they all ran. So they had PC to at least stop the
What did the
3
911 callers say as far as who had it?
They just said, Morgan, can you clarify?
Can we play it?
What they said?
The 911 caller didn't give us an exact description. He said, and I will say, kind of curious, so English may not be his first language. When he's speaking to the person on 911, he says that there was a group of juveniles that came in the store. One of them had a gun. He asked if he was licensed. The individual said no, and he asked him to leave. And then he called the police, and he said it's a group of 4 men.
This is the actual
This is the actual 911.
attendant. No, but the gas station attendant.
Yes.
The person working.
Yes.
And he doesn't give a description at that time.
He doesn't. The 911 operator does not ask, what is the person wearing?
I mean, what?
They just said that they walked outside and that they're in the parking lot. Like the same people that were just there.
So then the officer goes to do the investigation. They all bolt.
I don't think they all bolted.
Oh, they didn't? Who bolts?
My guy bolts.
And then
All
the
of them.
person with
They all bolt?
Yes, they did.
all of them do. Did they all get charged with the?
I don't know if they caught anybody else. I'm telling you, Judge, and the reason
They
why I
didn't
brought up
catch
his
him.
criminal history is because I'm telling you, he's known in the community. He's
How they
known.
got?
Yeah.
If they all
They know.
bolted, why didn't the guy with the gun get charged with evading as well? If
Because
all
they
bolted.
got the felony charge. That's why. They could have been it would have been a thick move and charge him with the one. Again, they could have, but it's lucky they didn't. You know, that's like you get a DWI and then they give you a speeding ticket on top of it, right? That's insult to
I
injury.
just make the argument.
I'm sorry. You know, but had it been different, I have no problem finding problem causing cases. You know, it come up after about an hour of argument here.
And maybe it goes a different way once we actually get the
If
911.
you find anything else, I'm happy always to revisit. But is it for y'all?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah? That's how you say in Spanish.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you say in Spanish.
With a J, that's right.
Yeah,
Right.
that was Spanish.
So
Yeah.
I am going to find that there's probable cause. Okay. When you hang with dogs, you get fleas.
No.
You now know.
I know now.
Just listen. You are on bond for 2 very serious felony cases, right? Is it just 2 or is it like 3?
We've got 3 other cases, Judge. I'm just representing.
You know, you shouldn't be hanging out with dogs because you could get in a lot of trouble. Even standing there.
Get ready. The judge makes her decision. She still says there's enough reason to move forward with the case. She tells him, when you stay close to trouble, it finds you. She admits it's a tough judgment. The man is told that life